Hey guys, it's the Chad, your C10 truck nerd. Well, if you guys have been keeping up with the channel, you know for the last couple years I've always wanted to go through and build a shop or a garage for my C10s and all the old junk parts. If you remember, the city and my neighbors, they wanted that too. Well, it never happened because during COVID, lumber got crazy expensive, but since then it's come back down. But inflation's now hit and labor's crazy high. But I decided if we're gonna do this, we needed to pull the trigger. But that wasn't easy as I thought either, because if you watched in part one of this series, the city really fought me over the building setbacks. We had to go through hearings, pay a lot of money, but we finally got approved. Now with a lot of recommendations from you guys, some builders, and some of our friends with shops, we finally come up with a design build or build design. I don't know. We've got a plan and it's pretty cool. So if you guys remember, initially the plan was to build a 24 by 24 until we got the building setbacks pushed. And once we did, I said, honey, can we go just a little bit bigger with the garage? And she finally agreed. Now I was all excited until I started reaching out to some of the building contractors and about had a heart attack with some of their labor prices. So I figured, hey, we're probably going back to a 24 by 24, or I was gonna try to build this thing myself. And I'm not good at construction, but I've got several buddies that are. But I just hate asking people to do stuff for me. That's just not what I like to do. They've got better things to do and I don't want anybody to get hurt. So I did not reach around to anybody. I called around to some other people and I had a guy that poured a driveway for me about 10 years ago and he's built several garages for my buddies. Reached out to him and he said, hey, you know, I can get to you in a couple months. So he came out and gave me a bid. And man, his prices were spot on. You know what some of these other guys were wanting for a 24 by 30? He's gonna build me a 30 by 40, do all the concrete work, regrade the yard, and pour me a patio. I mean, that's just the way to go. And I'm super excited. I just have to sell all my trucks now. Great. Now, one of the biggest decisions we had to make was what type of building we wanted to put out back. We could either go with a post frame, steel, or a wood structure. Now, since we're in town, I like the looks of the wood the best. It just kind of blends in with the house, and really that's what the wife wanted, so that's what she's gonna get. Now, wood would generally be the most expensive of the three, but since lumber has really came down, steel prices have just gone through the roof, so there's not that big of a difference anymore. Also, since the backyard is kind of a low spot and takes in a lot of water, I like to go through and we're gonna put footings down and potentially stem walls if we need, because we're gonna bring in quite a bit of earth to raise this building up off of the ground. Now, we decided to go with 30 by 40 with 12-foot walls. Most of you guys said, hey, if you're ever gonna put a lift in, at least go 12 foot. So that's what we're gonna do. So before we can go through with the shop, I've got to get some grade work and a patio poured because we have such negative grade right here. It wants to flood the house. So I'm going to tear the landing down, put in a 16 by 40 concrete patio, which, yikes. We're going to have to add about 4 foot to this retaining wall. I just took this elm tree out where Penny's standing, just ground the stump, which broke the downstairs window. Yay! But I've also got underground yard drainage that was here when we moved in that doesn't work. There's a yard drain here and it goes 180 feet out to the street over there. So I got to dig all that up and backfill it so we can put a garage on it. Yay! Oh yeah, and I got to take out 3 more trees over there, which 2 of them died in the cold last year, but I'm kind of sad. So I got some stuff to do. So now we got to go through and pull these remaining 3 trees out. And I really don't know what happened because this old girl's been in the ground for over 6 years and I've never had a problem. We had an extremely cold winter and I think maybe it just zapped them because the other 2 are pretty much gone too, except for a couple little shoots. So we'll start digging them up, you know, manual labor. Yay. Should just hire somebody, but I'm just too cheap. Super. This day couldn't get better. So another thing we had to do was pull up all of Mom's irises so we could go through and put a patio here. But man, I appreciate all the help, honey. Thanks for the garage. Your pool, yeah. Well, we're getting rid of the pool, you know, the lake back here. What do you got, Mimi?
A worm.
A worm. What we can do with it?
If it's an earthworm, I think it's Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Yes.
You naming it?
It's an earthworm, I think. No, it's a little wormy.
Little wormy.
Can I pet it? No. Please, this one time. Yeah. Petty.
So now I can show you guys what a big difference going from a 24 by 24 to a 30 by 40 looks like now that we've got those setbacks pushed out to 25 feet. I mean, it's a huge difference. So if you take a look where the yellow utility flags are, that is a 24 by 24, and where I've got it all taped out, that is going to be the new 30 by 40. We may adjust it out a few feet in or out, but it's just substantially bigger. And I can push it way closer to the road out here as well. Now I'll pull this fence down and butt the fence up to the sides of the building. And then out front we'll also have a 20 by 20 approach. So I'm looking at like 1,600 square feet of concrete just for the approach in the building, so yikes. But that is gonna be awesome. So the next few things we gotta do is tear down that deck landing. That way I can put a sidewalk in connected to the new patio, go through and dig up 180 some foot of yard drainage, backfill it and compact it. And then I guess go to the bank and clear out my checking and savings and maybe even retirement. That way we can pay for this building, or maybe I'll just run to the gas station, buy 100 scratch offs and see what happens. So I'm gonna go do that. So that didn't take them long. What you guys doing? Are you gonna help me shovel it into the holes and backfill? Maybe, I doubt it. Enjoy it while it's here.
What do you mean by that?
Because it'll be gone soon.
No, it won't.
So the reason why we brought in all that dirt was we have to backfill because somehow we just have negative grade all the way around the house. And the previous owners put river rock everywhere, which sucks. Having fun?
So much fun.
Yeah, it's not good. So I got a quick tip for all you guys out there. If you're gonna be pulling up 175 feet of 4-inch corrugated pipe that's buried and then backfill it, definitely go through and rent yourself a mini skid steer or even a full-size one, because this was absolutely backbreaking and nobody should have to do that by hand. Well, I did reach out to my builder. Luckily, I'm glad I called him because he's still a few weeks out. So he told me to go ahead and leave that deck landing there. That way I can get the dogs in and out of there and I have access to the backyard. So saved myself a little bit of work today. We were able to go through, get that garden pulled, got the layout of the shop where we think we want it, got the patio laid out where we want it, and the pipe out of the ground. So all in all, that was a horrible day, but it's done. Well, if you guys haven't, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you follow along on our 6 million days of putting a patio in and building a shop. Well, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.